A pleasure to meet y'all at last, and welcome back to some more Survival of No Limits. And what we got here to talk about is, simply put, well, guess what? There's certainly a ton of other things that I'm going to be talking about here on the channel, and it's more specifically going to be about quite a few things involving home foreclosures. Yeah. I bet you knew that this one was coming at some point, because after all, let's just say that at a time like this, here in 2021, we're at the peak of a pandemic. At the same time, we're fighting back against all odds that would possibly overwhelm us. It's certainly worth noting that we pretty much should be looking back on the many other things that happened to the American economy that have caused lots of unbelievable problems that we were just not sure would happen. But apparently they did. And it is for a good reason too, that I might as well go ahead and highlight at least a few things revolving this topic. So, well, let's talk about it. So first things first, when it comes to home enclosures or foreclosures, I get that confused a little bit. If you're very familiar with the recession of 2007 and 2009, which even after that period in time, that entire event had quite a big ripple effect and quite a big domino effect that took place throughout the entire country within the next few years. That entire time was quite a piece of history for us, because there were so many home foreclosures that took place throughout the late 2000s that it got a little ridiculous. At the same time though, it's probably appropriate because, well, there's been so many things that had happened to the national economy throughout 2007 up until maybe 2013 that it was just horrible by any means. Millions of people have practically become penniless. And by this point, it seems that the amount of people who have now been homeless seems to be multiplying. And I can't say I'm surprised at this entire thing, because looking at how the market seems to be at this point, it's probably not really going to be at its best in terms of its appearance or its functionality. But now, seeing what we've actually gone through throughout the past 3 or 4 years, today's time, we've actually got ourselves something similar taking place. I do have yet to know exactly what kind of details I need to hear about based on what the economy seems to be pretty much tanking from. And more importantly, what are the effects of this entire event that had pretty much taken place? When you think about the pandemic itself, when you think about a ginormous shutdown of businesses worldwide, this whole entire year is not only to blame for such a horrid event like this, but also for many other things. Of course, I won't really be talking about a lot of things specifically, but don't worry. I've kind of got it all lined out with a special video that I will have uploaded around December 31st, let's say. So let's not forget about that when that comes to mind. But anyways, just to avoid getting off track, I'm just going to highlight a couple of other things relating to how home foreclosures could take place. Lots of people are not necessarily able to pay off their mortgage, and this is of course something that seems to be highlighted every now and then, but that's another reason why foreclosures tend to be very common, because sometimes with the kind of minimum wage that most of us seem to be living on, it could be rather devastating to us to find out that we happen to have an eviction notice nailed onto our front door or taped onto our front door. But still, it's worth noting that every now and then we're more than likely to come across something this devastating, and I don't see anything surprising about that either, because considering how bad the economy seems to really be tanking, I don't see any reason to, well, I guess, I don't even know how to describe it at this point. But nonetheless, whenever there is a foreclosure that takes place, well, I cannot really be sure how to describe that or how you could basically stop this at any cost, but, well, that's just kind of how bad a situation like this can be. So, that's going to be it for right now, but I'm going to be having some other things to talk about very soon. But until then, if you want to see more go down on my channel, then make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.